Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Alrighty. So,
I don't have nails to do that.
I know
That's my.
I love this.
Biting the hell out of my fingers.
I used to. I think I just have an oral fixation. Because the thing is I used to bite my nails all the time as a kid. But when I started smoking is when I quit biting my nails.
Really?
Yeah. And
bite them more. Maybe it's because I got.
That's what I'm scared to quit. I'm scared to quit vaping because I don't want to. I know I have like an oral fixation. It's definitely a sensory need. Like it's something, something with, I don't know. That's what it is. You're with my hands.
I'm scared of stopping vaping because the grip of holding something.
Yeah, but it has gotten so bad for me that like I was carrying my charger block down the hall one day and just like tried to hit it. Or we were painting. We were over at my friend's house and we were like painting on his walls because he's letting us do like whatever we want. And I kept trying to hit the paint bottles like a fucking vape. And I was like, this is not okay.
I did that once at work, but I can't remember what it was with. Oh, it was chapstick.
Oh my God, I've done it with I've done it with multiple things that are not vapes. And I'm like, this is a
bad addiction.
This is a problem. This is going to kill me. But you know what? It's going to be a better death than by airplanes or amusement park death rides, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, yeah.
So trigger warning for that. We're going to be talking about some death, which is something that we haven't really talked about so far. But it's a big interest of mine. I have a strange obsession and anxiety about death.
It's something more than that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think, because I think about it every day, at least once a day, sometimes multiple times a day. And it's not just like I'm scared of death, but it's just more like the reality of our mortality. You know what I mean? And that, bringing it back. And that shit like scares me. And so I've accepted that someday I'm going to die. That is the reality of any and all things that are living, is we will die.
I still haven't accepted it yet.
Well, I mean, it's scary. It's such an expansive concept to think about because there's a million things that could possibly happen after, and there's a possibility that all of the things that we think, none of them are going to happen. And so it's a very,
I'm going to pretend that I'm like immortal or something. So that by the time I get to my deathbed,
pay bills forever. Well, that's my only motivation to keep eating. Is maybe I'll get like, some coupon years off. Oh, good. But I don't want to go like that. And I would like to be healthy and care about my body for as long as possible so that I could live a good life as long as possible. But
that's not going to happen with the vape that I got now. Singing, you just thought a battery.
It made me realize like how bad this is. I was like, this is a battery, and you can still smoke it even when there's no juice left. So fucking good. But
I'm feeling, man, I'm feeling bad.
Oh, but I've accepted that someday it's gonna be my time. But I want it to be quick. I want to go quick. I don't want anything slow. I don't want anything torturous, painful. Like I don't want to know what's gonna happen. I just want it to be super quick, and I don't want it to be scary. I just want it to be like, boom,
just rocking in my sleep,
die peacefully in my sleep, which is not the reality for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very rarely are people just going peacefully in their sleep. It's always like
it's like a dream to have that.
You know what I mean? But I would rather go like that than off of a fucking amusement park ride. Like, there is no way that I imagine any amusement park being not absolutely fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna just kind of dive into one that's kind of related. Glenwood Caverns.
Yeah, and
before you go into our actual topic, I want to say the one that I think would be the most terrifying from that amusement.
I haven't been to the Glenwood Caverns. I've been to Glenwood because it's only like an hour and a half from us. but I have yet to ever be to the amusement park.
Okay, so there they have one called the swing. And that one
Heard about it. I've read it.
swing off of a cliff in either direction. Terrifying. Terrifying. I would rather I don't know. I don't even know what I'd rather, but anything over dying by that ride. Because if anything happens, you're just swaying back.
Well, yeah,
and you're
right.
not
Like, just like swinging, and you're already scared, and then all of a sudden you're just
no, it doesn't go like this. It doesn't go like this. It's a swing, and it's over a cliff.
Oh my God, like you got and you're just like swinging and it breaks and you're like, oh my God, the ground's getting really far. Oh my God, the ground's getting really close.
It goes right over the highway. Like here's the cliff, and it's
I know I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh,
but
Mom cried every time.
I thought that it went around. Like
there is one.
The structure of it.
There is one.
Okay.
Like it has like all the different swings and stuff, but no, it's just like you have 2 seats on the back, 2 seats in the front, and they just swing like this. And like this seat, you literally see the whole mountain just down, and you're just like, this is it. This is it. Mom crying the entire time.
No, so I think one of the rides, I've only ever been on this ride once, and it was when we went to Elitch's when I was in like the summer before 6th grade.
Did I go?
Yeah, it was you, me, Mom, Ethan. We went up to Denver. It was the summer before I went away. And I remember us going up there, and I did not want to do that ride that you get on it and it goes, it's like a big tower, and you sit on it and it goes up and then it drops really fast. Yeah, I absolutely fucking hated that one. I would never go on it again since then. And there's a reason, and it's crazy because 2 of the like a top amusement park deaths that come to my mind, like when I just think about people who have died at amusement parks, have died on rides that are that design of ride. They all have different names, but it is that design of ride where it takes you up and drops you down, or just drops you. You know what I mean? And
fun facts. The one that we're going to be talking about today, me and my mom went into that one as well, thinking it was mine shaft. And we thought it was just like because in there they have like a screen, and it shows like people going like on a little tour through like a mine cave and like all this.
So the ride isn't like you can see it up. You have to like go in a cave to it.
That's what we thought. That's what we thought. We thought we were just going on like a little mine tour.
Oh, like a little like roller coaster mine?
Yeah, just like because it showed like a couple of cars and like people were like in it and just like kind of going through a mine, like a little mine cave.
Okay,
so that's what we thought it was. And so we go in there, and as you go in there, there's like, I feel like 6 seats or 4, either 4 or 6 seats. I can't remember exact. But we're sitting there and just waiting. They're explaining the rules. They didn't like say like what it was, you know, because
it's supposed to have
it says it all the time, but we'll say later in our real story that happens. But we're just sitting there, and out of nowhere, you know, I'm just like getting ready, and like the flooring beneath like goes away.
Oh shit! So you thought it was gonna be like a little trolley ride, and all of a sudden there's like, you know.
So I thought it was gonna like take us down or something, and then just like launch us, and then we'd like go on a little ride, because I thought it was like in a cave or something.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, I'm like sitting there. Me and Mom are like, "Oh, this is gonna be so cool!" And it goes like on the screen. It has like an old, like a projector kind of dude, and he says, and he's like, "Okay, we're going in 3, 2, 1," and then it pushes like that. And we're just like, oh, this is going to be fun. And out of nowhere, my glasses, boom. And I caught my glasses. And I was like...
So it dropped down in the dark?
Yeah. It's an actual, like, mine shaft.
Okay. And what was the name of that ride?
Haunted... Oh, my God.
The
Haunted Mine Drop, I believe.
Yeah, Haunted Mine Drop, I think it was. And that's at Glenwood Caverns, which is... And on that ride was where a 6-year-old girl named Wong Bell Estefanos died in 2021.
Yeah.
And she was with her family. I remember when that happened, dude, because it was just like crazy.
Oh.
Because her family was on the ride with her. And I guess like it's really dark, Mom. Like when we talk to Mom about, I guess it's really dark the whole drop, and then it's dark for a couple seconds after you get to the bottom, and then the lights come on. So it's terrible. What had happened, I guess, was the previous ride, somebody didn't get on. There was an empty seat, so they had buckled the seatbelt so that they wouldn't be flying up when it dropped. And when it was her and the next people's turn, she got on the seat that didn't have the belt, and nobody checked her. Nobody checked her to make sure that her seatbelt was on. And if you didn't know what kind of ride this was going to be, maybe and she's 6, like, she can't be responsible for buckling her own seatbelt and checking it, and there's people whose jobs it was. And I remember reading in the article that there was an alarm that went off.
Yeah, well, the person who didn't check her was also there for a couple of days and was still considered a trainee.
Yeah, and so he dismissed the alarm because he just didn't know what to do. And like, instead of stopping the ride and going, getting help and making sure that the ride was able to go, he just disabled the alarm and dropped it. And there's not a lot of detail on what like the family experienced in that moment, because I would definitely not want to talk about if I knew or not, but it just pains me because my son, he's going to be 6 in a couple months.
Yeah.
To just imagine like dropping and just realizing that you are not on the ride. And it was 110-foot drop. 110 feet.
The uncle, I guess, like, in that,
yeah, I was with her on the ride.
Yeah, he said that like he went to like look over at her to see if she had fun, and when he didn't see her there, that's when he like looked.
Oh my God! So they didn't even know that whole ride, because like it's dark in there and you hear your child screaming. You're imagining they're probably screaming, like,
yeah, because of the ride.
Oh my God!
And not because they're literally, oh my God, no. And when this came out, like when all this happened, I literally for days on end there was like a 911 call for it. And I sat there and went to it like almost every night because it was like, I all my stuff, and I just was bald.
Yeah, dude, it was one of the saddest things, and it would not have happened if it wasn't for the negligence of people who work there. And like the thing is amusement park rides are not. This is not fucking Burger King where like if you don't know how to cash out something, you just clear it and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these are people's lives. It's 110-foot drop. Like there's no surviving that. And like the fact it was a 6-year-old girl just makes it that much fucking worse. You know what I mean?
Like in a way, I hope whoever was working that day, I hope they live with that guilt.
They're going to have to. How do you not? So how do you not? Because to know that you dismiss the alarm, probably you think like, damn, that alarm probably was telling me that her seatbelt wasn't buckled or that there was something wrong. And I just dismissed it because I didn't want to ask for help. Like, why would you not ask for help? You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, there's been lots of times where like I've guessed shit at fucking like work and shit, but I've never had a job where like people,
but it's not like
could die.
Yeah.
If I fucking accidentally press 20 instead of 10, you know what I mean? And I have to count back cash weird or something. This is like,
I know.
You know what I mean? And it's like kind of the same thing that happened like a couple months after that, not even a full year after that, like in March of 2020, there was a 14-year-old boy at Orlando Icon Park.
Tyre Sampson.
Yeah, dude. And the name of that ride was Orlando Freefall, and it was 100 feet. 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And his reason, like, was that it was the design where you sit in it and all the seats go around the tower and it raises you up and drops. Well, the max weight for it was like 287 or something, but he was 383 pounds. Like, he was 383 pounds, you know, and so the locking mechanism that comes down wasn't secure all the way. And when he went up and they dropped, that thing just came up. And I remember when that came out, dude, like people saying that there was like video of it and like you could see, and just like how traumatizing for his family and friends that were waiting at or there with him.
And his mom wasn't around at that time.
Yeah,
his mom and I think his brother, but I think he was also on I think he was in football and they were going on a trip or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to dive in a little more on that. But yeah, I know his mom and his little brother, like they were little, or he was little.
Yeah, he was only 14 years old, dude.
And so his brother was like 7
and like
something.
even just the people that were on that ride or
Oh my God.
the down below or like
just everybody around.
Yeah, he's 14. Can you imagine? And it's the middle of the day. So you know that coming, oh my God.
Like everybody just around there saw that. That would be so,
and like,
so traumatizing.
Yeah, well, and just like going out like that, dude. Like, that's like the thing where I'm like, death is inevitable and it's gonna happen. But like, there's just some things that I won't fuck around. And heights are, I just don't even want to risk going like that.
Yeah, heights are just not my thing.
Oh yeah,
I think it's our thing.
No, dude. I fucking, it was my last time being in juvenile prison, and I had gotten out for a little bit of my parole to a step down, and not even 24 hours after getting out, it was a day before my fucking 17th birthday, we went hiking, and I fell off of a fucking mountain 18 feet. I completely destroyed my fucking ankle. I tore my tendon sheath. I shattered my talus. I ripped my ligament in half. I had to have ankle reconstruction surgery when I was 17 years old. And that was one of the, if not the most scary experience of my life, because I only felt like 18 feet, but it felt like 100. I remember going off the edge and not seeing, because I landed on like a shelf, because it was kind of like a bunch of shelves that went down. If I would have just went a couple extra feet, I would have went even further and would have gotten more hurt or killed or died. And I had enough time to think like, fuck, I'm going to die. And just have so many thoughts. It felt like I was falling forever. And when I hit that fucking ground, I was in so much shock. I didn't even feel that my ankle was obliterated. I like crawled out of there. And when I was with like the girls at the facility and the staff, I took my boot off and my toe was literally hanging off to the side. And they were like, oh shit. And I didn't feel it at all. I've broken 2 bones in my life falling. First from climbing a tree, then falling off of a fucking mountain. And I didn't feel either. Yep.
Sorry, that just like unlocked a whole new memory for me. I forgot about that. Oh my God. Because we were all in the fucking yard and it was with a bunch of neighborhood kids, because I was like
spider monkey girl and climbed the fucking tree. And since there was a bunch of kids, I decided I was going to be extra and go even further. Fucked myself up, hit every motherfucking branch on the way down. And like when I hit, I remember my face hurting and I tried to laugh it off and I tried to get up in a push-up position and I just heard like this crack loud ass. And I looked over and my arm was like, eh. And I just started screaming and mom ran out like, what the fuck? And then she was like, what the fuck? And like, you have to go stay with the neighbors. I remember she threw me a fucking bag of peas and I was like, ah. Like, cool. But I did not feel it at all. All I remember was my face sobbing, like my nose. And that was the same thing that happened when I fell off the mountain, because I fell and I hit my ankle and then I smacked down into the, and then luckily there was a fuck ton of snow, which I think was the only reason that like saved me, is shattered leg, broken back or neck or something. Like I got so fucking lucky in that. And it was the scariest thing in my life. But I'm like, I don't want to die any way that's related to falling. I don't want to put myself in a position.
Yeah, I think
so, because that would be so scary. And 100 feet, 100 feet. And you know, for sure, at that level, at that height, you know. And to know that you're going to die at 14 years old, and at maybe 6, because who knows how well she can conceptualize death or just that experience. But for sure at 14 years old, and you're like,
yeah,
like that kind of a fall would be, no fucking thank you. No fucking thank you. And I've seen Final Destination 3. I know. All the they were real good. They were real fucking good about laying out all the possible fucking ways you could go if your fucking roller coaster ride took a left turn.
The ways you'll go.
Yep. Which that was we have tried to start lots of podcasts. This is a serious interest of mine. I just go into all, I'm obsessed with animal attacks, all sorts of things. Death is a weird fascination for me, because there's so many, like, we all come into the world really like 1 or 2 ways. You either get cut out but you're coming out of a hole of a woman. That's how you get here. That's a whole portal that you get to come in. But everyone has a different fucking experience for going out. And there's not one way in Final Destination that I was like, from the whole time that they took off and you just see the little screws, like it just pans to the little screws, just like, I'm like,
that's how I feel every time I ride the Twister. That's how I feel every time we ride Twister at Elitch's. The wooden one.
Oh my,
no,
terrifying. But there's a ride like that at Lagoons, because Elitch's I've been to once or twice. I can't remember. I haven't been. Yeah, I think twice. I don't really remember. Yeah, no. Maybe? I don't know. I know I've been to Elitch's at least once, but I remember that wooden ride, and there's a ride that's very similar to it in Lagoons, which is in Salt Lake City. And I went there when I was like 19, and
was that when I was
when you with mom? Yeah, when we went, and then I also went with my ex-girlfriend, my best friend, and her ex-husband, which was really, really fun. But
I remember that.
There's that wooden ride, and I just like remember thinking like, damn, like I could see the paint peeling off this. You know how long it takes paint to peel off a porch? You know what I mean? It takes a while. So if this fucking paint is peeling, I know this, and it's out here just getting weathered and rained on, and fucking, it's not like a porch where you're just walking. It's fucking hundreds of pounds, maybe thousands, with people and carts and everything going fucking just constantly all day long. I bet that wood is like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Well, that's too damn bad.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to be there for the day that Grandpa keels over and a fucking, a splinter breaks a bolt loose. It's not going to be fucking me, man. But I would rather do, I've done roller coasters. Like, what did we do? What was it called at the Lagoons? You, me, and Mom did. Was it the Cannibal or something? That's
the big one.
Yeah, where it
comes out the mountain.
Kind of, yeah. Well, you go at the bottom and you sit on this big platform, and it takes you up. And then all of a sudden it's like veil opens, and you see the drop, like you just see a little bit of the thing, and it goes down.
Oh my God. Yeah,
no, that was before I wore contacts. And so I'm just sitting there holding my motherfucking glasses, and I can't see shit. And I just remember thinking like, if we dismantle and we just fucking go off, I'm not gonna know until the ground's like this fucking close, because my fucking eyesight's so fucked. The thickest you can go in contacts is a -10, and I'm a -9.5 in my right eye. So if that tells you anything, I would not know that we were detached until we were 10 feet from the ground, and it was too late. And that was my only comfort in doing roller coaster rides, was that you couldn't see. I would know. For like everybody, and I've seen some like bodies flying by or something, like I wouldn't fucking know, And at that point, I'd be like, "Oh my God, that bird got real close." To the big bird. It was a big fucking bird. But so I would rather do those than ride a motherfucking gondola or a Ferris wheel.
I don't like gondolas whatsoever.
I hate gondolas. Nope. I've never been a fan of Ferris wheels. Absolutely. I hate it. I don't like the creakiness. I remember
swaying.
Yeah, when we were real little, growing up in Meeker, like in the summertime, the carnival used to come, and I did the Ferris wheel one fucking time, and that was all it took for me to be like, I don't want to be sitting in no rusty, squeaky bucket, blowing in the fucking wind, waiting to roll off into the sunset. I'm good. And this past summer, I went to Global. It's a music festival with some of my friends. And when I went in 2019, it was awesome. Did a little bit of miles, and I had I for some reason just loved the like 2 roller coaster or amusement park rides they had. It was like a cage and it just spun around and something else and the swings. And I loved it. But this global was janky as fuck. And they had an old ass crickety fucking Ferris wheel. And it had been on for hours. And of course, my group of friends was like, let's be the first to ride the Ferris wheel. And I was like, let's be the first to fuck ourselves, please. No. And so everybody goes up and there's just poor one of like Mallory's friends. And I was like, fuck, I can't let this guy go alone. So we end up going, okay? And we get up there and I figured like it was just one quick little thing. I hadn't ridden it since I was like 8. And that I knew I didn't want to do it ever again. So I don't remember how they work. And we get up about 10 o'clock and it just stops. And I go, oh, because the whole way up, I'm just like, and Mallory's friend's like, we didn't have to go. And I was like, couldn't have said that, but finally fucking got strapped in. You see me fucking shaking the whole time. And so I'm up there.
You're early term Parkinson's?
Yeah, I do have early onset Parkinson's. Not really, but I just shake all the time. I just have low blood pressure and low blood sugar. And I don't know. I'm not great about going to the fucking doctor. So I don't really know why. But fucking, we get on the ride. And as soon as we get up, I'm just like, and then it stops. And we're just like, and I'm like, oh my God, I was like, I don't want to do this. You know, I don't want to go. And he's like, it's okay. We're going to be okay. And I was like, no, why did it stop? Why did it stop? What's wrong? What's wrong? And he's like, sometimes they stop. And I'm like, what? Why the fuck would they stop? This is not okay. And so eventually they go. And as we're coming back down, I'm screaming at the people. I'm like, I want off. Stop it. Stop it. I'm done. And he goes, 2 more. 2 more. And I'm like, no. I was like, no, I'm done. Please let me off. I'm fucking done. 2 more. 2 more. And I'm like, no, I'm chewing on his fucking teeth. Fucking piece of shit. And so we go 2 more, and I'm like, literally, I'm trying not to cry because I'm like, we haven't even fucking taken pictures tonight. I'm wearing fucking makeup. My contacts are gonna burn, and I'm gonna be fucking pissed if I survive this Ferris wheel. And it made me fucking cry. So I'm trying to keep it fucking together, and it just continually stops. I will never do it again. You can't convince me. I don't care if my son wants to ride the Ferris wheel. It ain't gonna be me. Sorry, bud. Wait, no. And I don't trust you to do it by yourself because I don't want you to die like that either. So you're gonna have to wait until Nana or somebody else wants to ride the fucking Ferris wheel with you because it won't fucking be me. It most definitely won't fucking be me. And when we got off of that, I immediately was like, fucking leave. I was like, we're done. I'm done with that for the night. And they're like, it wasn't that great. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm glad. I was fucking terrified. That's the scariest ride I ever rode in my life.
No, I think and Ethan can vouch for this. His least favorite ride in the whole world, and he's probably going to kill me for this. But at Elitch's, there's one called the skateboard. And that
one looks terrifying. I don't think I've ever done that.
Because there's 4 different sections.
But yeah, we have to. It's like a big pipe setting, and then there's a giant skateboard with seats like on it, like drilled on top of the giant skateboard.
But yeah, so there's 4 seats or different sections, and there's like I think 8 seats each one, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been on it. I seen that, and I was like,
yeah, well,
not today, Tony Hawk.
You know, and Ethan, he used to love skateboarding and Tony Hawk and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I still ride a longboard. I'm almost 26 years old.
Now that I think about it, I think after he rid that ride.
What was that ride?
Sorry.
After he rid the ride.
I'm high.
But he didn't like skateboards after that ride?
Yeah, I don't think so.
He went on it?
No.
Didn't fall?
No.
Maybe PMs.
No. Hold on. But I'm going to describe this ride because I know there's going to be a lot of people who haven't been on it. But you can't see anything. It doesn't look like anything's holding you up. Like, it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's just like pegs with spinning chairs on it, right?
So, as say we're like up at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see anything over there, and yeah, you see like, as you see like the bottom, but you're also spinning as you're moving, and so you're just spinning like this constantly as the skate going like that.
Puke.
Yeah,
I would puke all over everyone on that, especially if you're spinning. Everyone's gonna get off just be like,
my brother did not puke, but oh yeah, he done pissed himself. Then
he pissed.
He pissed himself.
Oh,
And the funniest thing, it was me, him, Mom, and Chantry, and we were pretty little.
Oh, poor
I
guy.
feel like he was maybe like 14 or something.
Damn.
But we were going on another ride, and Chantry goes,
Who's cooking popcorn?
he's like, did somebody piss themselves? And I was like, no, not me. And he started sniffing everybody, and he went to Ethan, and he was like, when did you piss yourself?
He was like, I think on the skateboard. I haven't been the same since.
I'm like, and after that, man, I don't
How long after the skateboard did it take you guys to notice?
Not that long, because we were standing in line.
You guys didn't notice? You guys didn't notice immediately?
No, I was all.
You had to wait for it to like set in. You're like,
after we got off of that ride, all I did was run away from it. So I was terrified. I was like, we just need to go on another one and not that one. Oh yeah. Thankfully, I've never puked or peed on any ride. Have you?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not while I was on the ride, but immediately after.
Oh,
So
I've almost
yeah.
felt like that.
when I was like very early on in my pregnancy, I went to the carnival and and didn't know I was pregnant at the time, but there's this ride that you sit on and it takes you like up and down and shakes. And there's a video of this ride like shaking back and forth and people coming to hold it down. But I was on a ride that was just like that fucking ride. And so yeah, it's like a row of seats and you sit on it and it takes you like all crazy. And I had gotten off of it and I had eaten a bunch of funnel cake before. And I got off and I'm running to the trash can, which is maybe only like 15 feet away. And I didn't even make it. I just start projectile vomiting what looks like fucking like blood. And
rubbers?
yeah. And I'm with my friend at the time and he goes, are you fucking okay? And I was like, yeah, I think it's a fucking funnel cake. I hope that's not blood. It didn't taste like nickels. It definitely tasted like strawberries. But I like, yeah. But I think my least favorite ride in the whole entire world is a motherfucking airplane. It's my least favorite motherfucking ride. I would rather drive 3 days than fly for 10 hours.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
I've gone over the ocean.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
that
And in the dark.
I have so many fucking fears because there's just so many ways I don't want to die, and there's not a good way to die on the ocean either. So flying over the fucking ocean is like top tier biggest fucking fear I have.
I'd have to pull some like Stranded Deep type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god. No. Okay. So my first time ever flying on an airplane was, I think, like 3rd grade when we went to Washington to visit your grandparents. And I don't really remember super much. I remember being fucking terrified. I remember trying to read my Tinkerbell chapter books and getting nauseous and like my head hurting. And I remember being real pissed off about that because it was a long flight. And me like, what am I supposed to do but try not to puke all that? Right? So I remember just hating it. You know what I mean? And when I had moved to Lake Havasu, Arizona, I decided, I was living there for a couple months and I decided to move back to Colorado. And it was easier at the time because I was living with my grandparents, to just leave my car back down there because I had never driven. I was 17. I had never driven several states by myself, and my grandma and grandpa weren't comfortable doing that. And my mom, she was going to come up in December, so we were going to drive my car back then. So I had to fly out of Vegas. That was absolutely fucking terrifying, but I have a crazy ass story about that. So I take a shuttle, which is like a van that like gives you rides from Lake Havasu to the Las Vegas airport. And while I'm on the shuttle, I'm there with like a bunch of like a group of people, and there's this one girl who's like my age, and I know her, but I don't know where I know her from because I've only been living in Lake Havasu for a couple months, and I really didn't know or meet a lot of people. So I was like, where the fuck do I know this girl? And then she asked me, is your name Andrea? And I go, yeah. And she goes, this is a weird question, but did you used to live in Grand Junction? And I go, yes. And we are driving from Lake Havasu, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada. So the fact that this girl, and I was like, who are you? And then she told me her name and that she knew me from like 6th grade. Like we had like kind of known each other. We weren't like super friends, but we had known each other. And so luckily, because I was so anxious about going to the Las Vegas airport by myself, because at that point, my social anxiety was peak at that point. I hadn't even been off of parole for a couple months at that point. So I hadn't even been out of the system for a year. And so my social anxiety was super high and I was super nervous. So the fact that I met a girl that I knew when I was like in 6th grade that helped me through that whole thing was super awesome. Yeah. But when we got on the airplane, we were separated. And I was like with this old lady. And I remember I was just like this. Like I was just like
freaking out. Trying not to have a panic attack.
Yeah, just like I'm in the middle. I'm like, it's like, don't cry. I'm dying. And anyways, this like older lady, like older, 60s, 70s at least, like she asked me if I'm okay, and I'm like, no, I haven't been on like an airplane in like 10 years. It's my second time. I'm super nervous because I just have anxiety in general, and now I'm like freaking out. And she goes, well, I have these things that the vet gave me for my dog for his anxiety. And this little dog is sitting on her lap and he's just fucking gone. He looks like he's out. And I go, okay, like if it put that little dog out, like it'll chill me out. It'll chill me out. So I pretty much got a dog Xanax from some stranger. And I spent, because it is a like 45-minute flight from Vegas to Junction. It's not that long. And I spent the whole 45 minutes like this with some lady just rubbing, and
she knew. She was like, I've taken one before too.
She was like, fuck.
She's like, I knew
what this bitch out. Is she a lightweight? Yeah, I thought like I never even fucking done anything like that before in my life. And I was like, okay, dog Xanax. I'm willing to try anything right now because I'm so scared I'm going to literally shit myself on this airplane. And so, yeah, and then she like helped me get my luggage, and thank God for her because I was fucked up for hours. Thank God I didn't drive myself back from the airport. Just get off like, hi, Mom. It's nice to see you. Yeah, it was a good flight. I don't remember any of it. But yeah, and
sleeping.
Yeah, no, dude. And the second time or the third time, because you used to fucking fly on airplanes all the time.
I hate them.
Yeah, because you flew out like every summer that you went to go with your grandparents.
Yeah. And to this day, I still feel like I need somebody to guide me.
Which is insane. Because I only have like 3 memories, and I have like vivid memories of them. But do yours kind of all blur together, or like was every experience scary?
I feel like I've had like one good flight, because I think there was one flight that didn't have any turbulence. If there's turbulence, I feel like I'm dying. I feel like we're going down.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I sit there and I grasp the seat, asshole puckered, everything. I'm like, this is it. I'm waiting for the things to drop down so I can grab the oxygen.
Oh yeah, no, dude. And fly to Kansas, and that was a long flight, and that was hard. And I also got stuck next to a really sweet old lady that flight too. But
To give you a dog Xanax?
No, I didn't get lucky this time. I just got sweet words and Kleenex. So, so it's so terrifying to me. And like, luckily, I've never had to fly in any kind of bad weather. Have you had to fly in like a lightning or?
And I have, and it will loudy and yeah, no. And when I say turbulence, I mean turbulence. And here's the thing: this is what I don't understand. They say that planes can't like have any malfunctions due to turbulence or anything, and I'm like,
Have you ever fucking hydroplaned in your car? A little, you're done.
Yeah, no. I'm like, there's no one who could convince me that turbulence cannot take down a plane. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
I just no. I feel like I'm going to die every time. My heart starts pounding.
And if I knew there was going to be bad weather and my flight was like booked, I'd be like, I've seen Society of the Snow. I ain't going. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh my God. I watched it with my fucking friend Meek. Fucked up. Tripping. So it was not a great time to fucking watch this because I'm already terrified of fucking airplanes. But this is a real life story of the crash of Flight 571. And it was this South American rugby team. And they were flying back. And it was 1972. And it was the Uruguay. I cannot fucking say it. But it was the Uruguayan. You know what? It was an air fight, okay, for this rugby game, and they were hit by lightning, like during like a storm, and their plane went down, and it was like just this rugby team, but they also got to bring like their family, like people had their sisters, their mom, their like best friends on this flight, and people that you had known for years. They were out there for 72 days, dude. And this is real story. And they made a movie on it. The movie is one of the most terrifying movies I've ever seen. And not because it's like super gory or bloody, but because it is based on a real story. Their plane crashes and a couple people die on impact. You know what I mean? And they end up going like weeks, and people end up dying of starvation and lack of water because there's tons of snow up on these mountains that they're crashed in, and eventually they start eating the people who have died. And it is such a because it is a real story, and people that are alive, you know, because eventually after like 60 fucking plus days, a group of them like hiked out to look for help, and they ended up, you know, finding help and sending them back for the rest. But they took pictures, and you can see these fucking pictures. You can see these pictures, but they took pictures during that time, you know, and there is a picture. It's a very haunting picture of them like next to the wreckage and like kind of like sitting down, and there is like a decaying carcass. Like you can see like vertebrae and ribs, and like all the meat is gone. Because they in order to survive, they started eating the people who had died. And luckily they didn't get to the point where they were like killing people, you know what I mean? Because people had already passed. But there were people that were like having to make the decision to let people eat their sister, and then making the decision, like knowing that they were going to die. Like, when I die, you guys can have my body. And it was just so fucked. And that's real life fucking shit. And that is terrifying. Like, if you know your plane is going down, like you hit some turbulence, ooh, that's scary, but you see a wing rip off, and you know your fucking plane is going fucking down. There is not a one good fucking way out since then.
Nope.
What? You're gonna fucking, you know, the plane explodes in midair. Luckily, maybe you don't even see a crash. Maybe you're one of the lucky people that get fucking chirped off early. But at the same time, you know what's happening. You like to just know that. you know, to die being burned alive from the explosion, to die on impact or survive the wreckage. You know what I mean? But if you're in land, like, not get help in time and die of your fucking wounds, or if it's in the ocean, if you survive, now you're stranded in the ocean with the sharks and the sun and all the crazy. There's not one good fucking way after you know your plane's going down that's fucking good.
Yeah. My heart is just heavy. I'm just thinking of like all of the ways.
Yeah,
Like you,
there's not,
because I'm a visual person, as you're like explaining all of that, I'm just
for
like,
you. Painting it.
yeah,
Painting it. You know what I
in
mean?
my head.
Fucking suddenly the wing rips off and that rips a hole, and now there's fucking papers and suitcases
People flying out.
People flying out, glass busting, just insanity.
Gives me chills.
Insanity. You know what I mean? And there is, I think, the craziest, because that, for me, the Society of the Snow story, the Flight of 571 is a super crazy story, but I think probably the craziest story. Have you ever read the book When I Fell from the Sky? So it's this book by Julian Kopik, and she lived in South America, like Peru. She was like German Peruvian or something, and her parents were like biologists or mammalogists. They were scientists of some sort that like lived out in the Amazon rainforest, and she had like grew up out there, and she was like flying out for some reason, and she was 17 years old, dude. And this was crazy because this was like a year before. So the South American rugby team happened in 1972, and this happened a year before in 1971, okay? And it crashes over the Amazon rainforest, and somehow during the crash, her seat was completely torn apart from the plane. Like, as the plane was coming up, like, it started ripping into pieces because it's going so fast, and her seat was going, like, spinning, and she remembers the whole thing, and then hitting the ground and then waking up. She survived. She fucking survived. I can't remember. I think there was like 90 something people. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know it was like 90s. There was like 90 something people in that fucking plane. She was the only fucking person who survived. And she was strapped to her fucking chair. The people who were strapped to her bench with her died. She survived at 17 years old and lived in the fucking rainforest for 11 fucking days. 11 fucking days, dude. Can you imagine? And she just like ate snacks and shit like that she found from the wreckage of the plane. But she's just sitting there waiting with people like dead all around her. And she was fucked up, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously fucked up. That's thousands of feet. Thousands of feet.
I think at that point I would just kill myself after. I don't even think I would want to live with like remembering that.
Oh no, dude. The first time I ever heard this story was from a morbid podcast. Shout out fucking Ash and Elena. Absolutely fucking love them bitches. But the first time I ever heard of this story was from them. But man, the lady who fell, she wrote a book called When I Fell from the Sky, and she goes into quite a bit of detail about just what she's seen as far as just mangled bodies and wreckage, and it is inconceivable to fucking imagine. Like, if you've ever, like, if you've been a friend and slept in the same bed with me, or even on the couch with me or anything, I do it a lot, but I'll like go to fall asleep and I'll just get like that weird falling sensation,
jerk.
And I literally jerk.
It's called a hypnic jerk. I have them too.
Yeah, dude, it had
that. Do you know what they are? So I've done like some research, and it says that is your body waking you up because it thinks like, or I don't know if it because your brain thinks your body is dying, or if it's because like your brain is like shutting something down, and it'll wake you up or something like that. But yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, and that is so scary. Can you imagine, like, her every time she closes her eyes, like, remember seeing the wreckage and just remember spiraling fucking down? That would be scary. Like, you would have an actual memory and sensation to put to those fucking feelings. Like,
and that is why I never skydives.
I have no desire.
No.
I have no motherfucking desire. No desire to fucking bungee jump.
No.
Like, you know what? If I want to fucking get scared, I'll go to Walmart by myself. I don't need a fucking bungee jump. You know what I mean? Like,
that was fun.
Can I see that? You know, like, I don't need to be doing nothing crazy. Like, it doesn't take much for me. There's no, you know, because I would be thinking about that the whole time.
Yeah, if this cord breaks, I'm done. Or if my parachute doesn't pop out, I have the rest of my life to figure it out.
Yeah.
In the air while I'm going.
28 seconds, bitch.
Yeah, no. That's why,
hope you're ready.
Mom, I'm sorry. I will never, do you understand? Never go parachuting with you.
No.
I'm sorry. You can no longer ask me. She does it all the time.
Oh, no. Been asking me for years. I'm like,
you too?
Me.
Us.
You know me. You know who I am. You think I'm jumping out of fucking planes? I don't even want to get on the plane. I don't even want to stay strapped into the plane. The fuck I want to jump out the back for?
You're testing so that when you go on your next flight, you know how to protect yourself.
Do you know what comes to my mind when I think about parachuting?
What?
The CSI Miami episode. I remember seeing this CSI Miami episode when I was a kid about this like person who died in a parachute accident and found out that they like were sabotaged and cut their cords. And I'm like, you know, what if fucking I just so happened to go parachuting on the day that the guy who strapped to me, you know, because I haven't done enough by myself, you know, so I have to have an attachment man. And I come on the day that his wife found out that he's been, you know, cheating. And she's like, you know, fuck him and fuck whoever he gets today. You know what I mean? And
anxiety thoughts?
Yeah. So usually because I just have this like vision of everything being really, really small, and then just, how do you think with that thought in your mind? Like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, for me, I could fucking grab my titties and fucking like try to flap and fly away. Like, that'd be the last resort. I'd be like, unzip me. I can get us out of here. You gotta let me try, man. You don't have a lot of time.
My over-tenderized chicken breast, look at us going.
Just like wind catches and just like parachute us down.
Like the Ice Age squirrels.
For real.
I can't.
You know, that because there's nothing else that you could do at that point.
Nope.
And you know what's crazy? Is the first Final Destination is about fucking an airplane. And I think that's where a lot of my like vivid imagination for those kinds of scenarios comes from, because
anything could happen.
Anything. You get sucked out a window. You could get hit by a fucking hardcover briefcase and get your fucking head blown off onto the people behind you. Catch on fire, and nobody's looking for a fucking extinguisher for you. There's not a good way to go. I'm not going. Or you end up like fucking Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. You remember when that shit happened in 2014?
Mm-mm.
So this fucking flight, it had like 227 passengers and 12 crew. They're going from Malaysia to China, and 40 minutes after they take off, they just fucking disappear. Off the map, off the grid. Like, they're not in communication with either of the towers. Radar can't fucking find them. They don't make it on time. They give them a little bit of extra time. Don't show up. They never find the wreckage of this. They never find the 227 passengers and 12 crew. That's like,
Oh
what?
my God.
Yeah. Never found them. And there's so many conspiracies. Oh.
What if something like that is kind of like from...
Yeah, dude. Well, like, there's like thoughts of like Amelia Earhart because they never, you know what I mean, found her. Like, thought there's like the conspiracy of the Bermuda Triangle, or fucking, I've heard like the aliens took it, or, you know, a suicidal captain and they just never found the fucking wreckage.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, because still to this day, nobody knows what happened. It could be the Bermuda Triangle. It could be aliens. It could be suicidal pilot. It could be crazy conspiracy, crazy way of taking out a couple.
It could be entering another dimension.
Yeah. They fucking accidentally looped through a fucking portal.
Maybe they're stuck, you know.
Or maybe they just fucking hit some crazy fucking turbulence, fucking spun out and crashed into the ocean, and they haven't found them yet.
Yeah.
We'll never, like, hopefully we know, because I could not imagine that, dude.
Yeah, not knowing.
Or like somebody that you love is on that fucking airplane and you're supposed to pick them up and you're waiting at the airport, and suddenly like they just like announce that their plane's been missing for fucking 2 hours and they haven't been in contact the whole time, and now they have to send a fucking search party out for it. Like,
no,
there's no, I don't want to get hit by flying luggage. I don't want to get sucked out into the fucking atmosphere. I don't want to burn to death. I don't want to get stuck in the ocean. I don't want to hit the ground. I don't want to fly through another fucking portal while I'm still alive, sober. And I don't want to go to the Bermuda Triangle. I have no fucking interest in the Bermuda Triangle either. So airplanes are just a no for me.
Yeah, I think I realized they were an absolute no. Is the night before I had to go on a flight, I was with my sperm donor, and he made me literally watch a movie of a plane crashing. Some like
Final Destination?
No, it definitely wasn't. But it was like,
Was this place on a plane?
I don't remember. I was too young and I never watched it ever again.
You never seen snakes on a plane?
No.
It's a great B-rated movie. We love B-rated horror movies over here.
Yeah, no. He played that for me the night before, and I was pissed and terrified the next day. Never forgive him for that.
Oh yeah, dude. My dad fucking one of the last times I got to see him as a kid, because he ended up getting restraining order after beat the shit out of us during this weekend with him. But I remember he was feeding us those like nasty ass like Rice Krispies with no flavor, just fucking and forcing us to watch some crazy fucking movie. And maybe the fact that I've watched all the Final Destinations before I was the age of fucking 11, who knows why I have this crazy obsession with that. But this fucking movie was about these, like, the whole movie is just people fucking dying in crazy ways. And I remember this like kids t-ball game, and they're like playing t-ball, and suddenly like the roller, it was like a B-rated fucking Final Destination, but the roller like starts rolling people over, and there's like a soda can that starts, like a vending machine that starts shooting out fucking soda cans.
I can remember that.
Yeah, dude, that was a super fucked up movie. I don't know. Is it a Final Destination? I don't remember it. From what I remember, I don't know if it was a Final Destination, because like from what I remember, it was very B-rated.
She's destroying our...
It was very B-rated. So I don't think it was a Final Destination, but it was a fucked up fucking movie. And I just remember, like, I know for sure now when I go to vending, I watched that movie when I was like 7, 8.
Wait, what all happened in it?
I don't remember a lot of it. I remember, but I do remember there was like a steamroller, and they were in like a T-ball field and it running over people. And I remember like a vending machine and it shooting out fucking soda cans. And so now I know, like, when I go to vending machines, I always stand off to the side. I don't know if you've ever watched me at a fucking vending machine, but I stand off to the side because I'm not trying to have that shit shoot out and fucking hit me so hard that I get internal bleeding and like die by fucking Mountain Dew. You know what I mean?
Never mind. I was thinking of something else completely different. I thought you were talking about a movie that I thought you'd like mention a Ferris wheel again, but that was not it.
You know, I mean, and I've never been on a helicopter. Oh, but Kobe Bryant taught me enough. Train ass motherfucker.
Yeah, no.
The helicopter.
They're terrifying.
Not Kobe Bryant.
They're terrifying. Not Kobe Bryant.
I've never been in a helicopter.
No. Well, let me just tell you, you don't want to. You don't.
Oh, no. I've seen enough movies. I know those things don't look stable. I'm like, thank God that there's not fucking lane lines in the sky, because helicopters don't be staying in there. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be shaking around in a fucking ball with propellers on it.
Right.
There's nothing, that doesn't seem like
I don't know what it is, but now that I'm thinking about it more, since, you know, flying over the ocean with the airplane, I also realized I had also done it, I think, over a lake. There was some sort of body of water. I can remember it. And I remember because as like it was turning, I remember seeing the water, and I literally
and when the plane turns like this, and like you don't know like whether to scream like I recommend now, or just like
no, and like the helicopter, like it had the doors open too, and so
wait, you were in a helicopter?
Yeah, in the helicopter. I've been over bodies of water in a helicopter and an airplane. Now that I was thinking about it, because I remember when we were like leaning over, I was literally like, "Oh my god, what if I just like fall into the water?"
Right? You have like full on. I would need like a race car fucking like seatbelt for what? No, you're not giving me a little lap belt.
I don't think you're strapped at all. I don't think you're strapped in a helicopter at all.
You got me fucked up. No,
I don't think so.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No. If you're like, I remember, what is it? Like watching The Bachelor, and there's a couple times that they did like helicopter dates over the city with champagne. And I'm like, I would punch a man in a fucking throat and like, you don't know me. No, there's a million. No, I don't take me in a helicopter.
Yeah,
fucking take me, bring champagne. Don't bring a helicopter.
Don't put you in anything height.
No.
Height-wise.
No.
I don't even like buildings. I don't like skyscrapers.
I only like to be figuratively high.
Yeah. Skyscrapers, when we went to Vegas and we stayed at the very top thing, we were all like, oh, let's go look over the window. And I was just like, oh, huh.
No, we were on like a fifth like floor, and it was like the top floor at this Airbnb. Mm-hmm. And they had these like little corner patios that were just like hung off the side of the building. And I remember like every time I would go out there to like just chill, I'd be like, oh my god, what if this breaks on? Like, we're at the top and it's not that far, but the people down there look like cats. Not ants, but cats. They're still small. And I'm not down for that.
Oh no. I always have like every here and there I'll have like a dream of where I'm like in a really tall like skyscraper, and it's like surrounded by like windows and stuff, and I'll be like, I think like in the middle of a hurricane / tornado, and the building is just swaying and I'm just sitting there like no. Even elevators, dude. Even elevators, once I start going up, are just like being high. Like, I have no desire to have like a top floor suite. You can put me on the first floor so that if I start hearing the walls cracking, I can fucking run out and have enough time to grab my fucking snake and get them the fuck out of here, because I got 5 of them bitches. Oh yeah.
Like, I don't want to be at the top floor where if I run, even if I fucking run, I'm going down. Or the elevator just, can you imagine like you can hear your walls starting to crack and they're like, everybody out. don't use the elevators, use the stairs. And the stairs are crowded. People are pushing up, getting fucking trampled. And you're like,
Going over the
I'm going to use the elevators real quick. And so you're in the elevators and you hear like the bricks falling and people screaming and just the elevator music. Just fucking elevator.
some Taylor Swift playing.
And it's like,
Oh yeah, the elevator at my previous work, terrifying. So me and my old coworker, we had to come to an agreement. She wouldn't go in the elevator.
your old work, what is it? Like 2 stories?
Yeah, but so A, you know what I'm talking about? A.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She won't go in the elevator unless she has to like clean it. But she will like make sure the doors are open, like everything. She'll put the trash can right in front of it to block the doors from closing, everything. And we had to come to an agreement because back when me and her were trying to prank each other constantly,
Oh my God.
I always threatened her that I would push a button, and she threatened that she would bring a doll.
Yeah.
So we had come to an agreement that if I don't push a button, she won't bring a doll.
And like a fair fucking trade.
Yeah, so, we've kept strong to that. Kept that word.
So no dolls, no amusement park rides, no
I'll
airplanes.
still do amusement park rides. I know, it's terrible.
I'll catch you on the teacups.
Nope. Stopping that right there, because do not do it with Chantry. That scarred me and Mom and Ethan for the rest of our lives. He spun us so fast. Every time we walked past that ride, all of us were just like, anytime I see teacups, like just talking about it makes me nauseous. I'm like, oh God, I just have my brain is just like,
Yeah, no,
busy.
you can catch me at the kettle horn for sure.
Another one that makes me just nauseous. Like this is the one that I almost vomited on. So at the like carnivals, the like alien ship where you sit up against the wall and then it just.
Oh, I love that. When I was a child, you used to like suck you to the walls and you could like climb up there, do all sorts of crazy shit, hang off the walls all wild.
Yeah, me and Mom, we got off and we were just like, she's like, don't do it, and I was like,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the way you have to go.
Yeah, so the segment kind of reflects an old endeavor that we've tried. So, yep, I know I'm not going like that. None of those ways.
Yep. Nope. Well, I may not be.
Maybe airplane. Someday I would like to get over my fear enough to go like travel, but I'm just gonna have to like take something that will make me unconscious. Like
not
just unconscious. No, not even like I'd have to be unconscious. Fucking at that point, like just maybe give me some roofies and send me off in a large FedEx box or fucking something, like I just cannot be conscious because flying over the ocean and looking out and seeing nothing but blue water. Panic attack. And I'm sorry, but you guys are all going to fucking have to deal with me. Just running and screaming and crying everywhere. Because we're not getting to fucking land for another 10 hours. And I'm going to make sure that you all know that.